Hi Leo, welcome into a brief next 48-hour tarot reading for you. I do want to thank you so much for joining me for this reading. But as we proceed, do keep in mind this is general and it's meant to pertain to the following 48 hours for you, beginning around when you're guided or drawn to this video, not just following when I post it. But I more than appreciate the love and support, the likes, the comments, and of course subscriptions to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, the overall message I channeled for us for the next 48: life after struggle, everything's falling into place. Life after struggle, everything's falling into place. All right. So it's the next 48 where you may find oneself seeing improvements, being reminded why change, potentially multiple changes have come to be in the recent past, or even rewinding further back. I do feel as if you're being reminded you've been through a lot, but it's given you strategies and the power of experience and wisdom to be put to use to make things easier for oneself when little hiccups come up, right, into place in the next 48 and surrounding it, and when little obstacles come into place. Anyways, so I did pre-pull two cards, as you can see, from the animal deck, the Divine Animals Oracle. And so let's see what they are. We have the Fierceness card, Wolverine, as well as the Jaguar card about release. So I do feel like you have a very fierce, bold way about your presence, naturally. We can't help it as a fire sign, as a Leo, regardless of where you find it aspected in your chart. But I do feel as if there's a highlight on where you're feeling a bit frustrated or have been up until this point, a little bit defensive potentially. But I do feel like all the meanwhile, there's a need for you to wholeheartedly expect the best, regardless of what you've dealt with, regardless of what imperfections still lie within your day-to-day situations. But I do feel as if there's at times in the next 48 a boldness about the way you carry yourself, about the way you communicate, accomplish, develop, and it's very likable. It's very likable. There's a sense of you being very much viewed as somebody who's been through a lot, or even is going through a lot, or both, through the gateway to your soul, your eyes. A sense of people seeing a bit of a story, even if they're not fully grasping the extent of it. Interesting. Or the full truth that lies within. A sense that you are somebody who is meant to help people along your path in this lifetime. And you might be wrapped up with some of which in the next 48, if not, so be it. There's time moving forward to figure out how you're meant to go about doing just that. But I do feel like there's a sense of you wanting to, I want to say, protect people, or even just help people once again. You could even find the feeling coming over you at a certain point, if not multiple, to protect your work. But I do feel like some of which drawn to the reading are so spiritually connected that you have spirits by your side or just joining you that could act through you or just speak through you in moments of unexplained fierceness and emotion potentially. But they're also saying your dreams are coming into play. But we have the Horse card talking about freedom at the bottom of the deck, and I do feel like there's a sense of you needing to not overly contemplate or think about, mull over the freedom you desire. It could be the release of an investment, it could be the release of a job, somebody, if not multiple people. But tying into the release card, certain burdens do weigh down on your shoulders at times, right? Your heart and your soul in regards to what you've been through. And not to make this reading too heavy, because it already feels like it's unraveling that way. But there's a need to get that release, whether it's through dancing and singing to music, it could be creating art, it could be through a workout, a nice relieving conversation with somebody who you can trust, who's potentially also been through a lot. But don't let that get out of hand. And I do feel like you're very observant in the next 48. All right, let's move on to the Mystic Mondays. Yeah, the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck and the Empress. So I do feel like through thoughts of freedom at certain points, you're thinking about what you want to release or just simply what you want to begin. Okay, and Spirit's saying you have a very open third eye at this point along your path to what's possible in regards to your ability to manifest, in regards to your powerful connection to the spiritual realm, to the universe. Things are just going to come to be a lot easier moving forward than they once have. Even if things have at times come together and even fallen apart easily. Spirit's saying that, again, going back to the overall message, you've been through the struggles, and it's time for you to recognize and notice and see more so moving forward that everything's falling into place for you because it's simply well deserved. They're saying you don't go through what you've been through without things being brighter on the other side. The Two of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like there's just a beauty in the way you communicate with people, bond with people. You're going to sense that people are just drawn into your energy. And also a bit of a vibe being exuded from oneself that you're not to be messed with, but you're not going to take it to that place unless it feels completely necessary. Does that make sense? I do feel like your energy, again, the gateway to your soul, your eyes, the way you do things in the next 48 communicates more than words could. Very interesting. But although that's being said and done, I do feel as if your words, the messages you choose to convey, whether it's coming straight from the spiritual realm or it's simply from you, right? Very powerful, all right? The Ten of Cups, because I do feel as if you're being reminded that a sense of release is going to lead you towards more fulfillment. I do feel like, again, you're thinking about what needs to be released moving forward, even if you need something to build up or to gain something so you can make that happen, right? It's making me think about, say, if you want to move a residence or something of the sort, but you need more finances to make that happen and that right opportunity. Bear with me as I just stuttered a little bit, but I do feel like energy is affecting you, okay? People, whether it's spiritual and or somebody, if not multiple people in your presence, right? That or that you were just associated with, it feels like you just need to do your best to cope with that. And again, if that's taking place for you, allow for oneself to recognize that you have certain strategies, once again, that you've developed and created up until this point, learned that can be put to use to make it a lot easier to cope, to deal. But it feels like there's just levels of patience you have to have in the next 48 in regards to things that don't feel perfect, in regards to the energy you're picking up on or just experiencing, in regards to having to come up with certain solutions. Because it feels like in certain moments, a creative solution or a solution in general will come to be quite easily. And in another moment, it may just feel a little bit more difficult, whether you're due to being new in a situation, due to not having all the answers in front of you, it just simply not being the easiest thing to solve at that time. However it works for you. Even when it comes to your dreams or spirituality, I do feel as if patience needs to come into play quite powerfully for that as well, all right? And I do feel as if you have what it takes to persevere when it comes to whatever you're coping with, dealing with. But it's this feeling that Spirit's saying, yeah, it's not as if the struggles are going to just be completely dissipating moving forward or just not part of your situation, because that's just life. But it feels like, especially if you're extremely spiritually connected, it's always going to be a part of your situation to an extent. But it feels like there's a focus on how things are meant to feel a lot lighter moving forward. And partially due to your ability and your choice to go through those levels of releasing and just improving your life step by step, day by day. They're saying situation by situation, but also just simply because it's time for things to, again, feel less heavy, okay? But I also feel like you're going to be a bit more self-critical towards oneself than you will expect or you have been. But look at this. There's going to be moments in the next 48 where you're feeling happy and you need to ask oneself why that is. Of course, don't overthink it, but there's going to be moments where you will need to embrace that happiness, that peace all the meanwhile, and ask oneself, how do we implement this or that moving forward more so, or steer clear of this person, this energy, or this situation more so moving forward to make sure we're as happy as can be. And I feel like even, again, just that release all the meanwhile will leave you feeling quite happy and more like yourself, right? It's this push to realize that at times when your emotions got the best of you or just your spirituality got the best of you, that wasn't who you truly are on a core level, right? But don't be surprised if the next 48 does highlight one, if not several, small moments where you just get a little bit in your feels, right? Especially when you're reflecting upon thinking about all you've been through and potentially are going through at this time. And again, then leading to thoughts of that desire, for freedom. Don't make yourself nervous by overthinking. But I do feel like, again, it could be certain levels of emotion that somebody else is going through. But I do feel like either way, you might get emotional because, again, of all you've been through. Look at this, the Hermit card, because I do feel like as much as you're beautifully connecting with other people, you're enjoying and embracing your hermit mode, your alone time. And I feel like this will help you heal and sort of maintain or bring back a level of groundedness for oneself. But I also feel like there's a level of you connecting to other people and drawing in people's attention towards your energy and even potentially your work when you're spending time alone. Makes me think about me and this channel. But I do feel like Spirit's saying, again, things haven't been easy, but it's this feeling that you are realizing or remembering in the next 48 once again. Yeah, you've been through a lot, but even more so well deserved. Things are falling into place moving forward. All right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your next 48, and I'll see you next time.